Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Right now at 8 o'clock, hundreds without power. Crews in Durham are working to fix a utility pole broken in an overnight crash. Police are looking for the drivers who abandoned the cars.
And look at this, a little bit of sunshine trying to break out here in Durham. I'll let you know when you'll see sunshine where you are.
And rethinking technology, a new law requires schools statewide to make new rules for student phone use. The work that's happening today to make that change in Durham. So glad you're with us here in the 8 o'clock hour. We always appreciate it. I'm Ken Smith.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Yeah, let me tell you, I didn't wear my jacket coming into work this morning. I didn't. It was mild. It felt good outside. Yeah. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner with a look at some areas seeing a little bit of that spotty rain, but we're mostly cloudy.
Yeah, temperatures are close to 60 degrees right now, so it's definitely warmer than it was this time yesterday. We have a southerly flow. You can kind of see that as you follow the rain. Looks like it's moving from south to north, so that's keeping things warm. Just some of our eastern counties, particularly Edgecombe County, Halifax, Northampton County, seeing a few light showers still, but that is on its way out very quickly, and the sunshine's already starting to break out. As a matter of fact, like here in Garner, we do have some low-level clouds, some mid-level clouds, but look at all that sunshine. The sun's starting to show there on the top of the clouds there. 58 is our temperature, a southwest wind at 11, and it will be breezy this afternoon with some gusts at 20 to 25 miles per hour. Temperatures are in the mid-60s right now. We take a look at, or will be in the mid-60s for highs this afternoon. Taking a look at Melissa, it continues to pull away from the Bahamas, about 200 miles from the center of the storm back over toward the Bahamas. So last rain band's pulling away. It's moving northeast at 21, wind still at 105. So it is still a Category 2 storm. It's likely to brush past Bermuda with some minimal impact, but we'll talk about what's new from overnight with Melissa coming up. Ken?
Elizabeth, at 8:02, major congestion on some of our major routes. Let's start in Durham. This I-885 southbound, there's a crash right there near the T.W. Alexander Drive exit, causing huge delays, stretching all the way back to the 147 interchange this morning. So you're looking at a 46-minute delay if you're using 885 southbound. So I would avoid it altogether. Depending on where you are, where you're going, Highway 55, Highway 70, South Miami Boulevard, a couple of alternate routes. The Beltline is jammed up this morning. That southern loop of the Beltline, those are the southbound lanes, westbound lanes, I should say, moving away from us this morning. Right now, you're looking at an 8-minute delay. The real trouble spot is on the northern loop of the Beltline. You're looking at a 20-minute delay starting around the I-87, I-440 split. It eases up a bit around Capitol Boulevard, but again, it gets really jammed up around Six Forks Road all the way over to Wade Avenue. So keep that in mind as you're about to head out the door this morning. In terms of other routes coming into Raleigh, you're looking at a 3-minute delay coming in from Knightdale this morning. That's gotten a lot better, by the way. And our friends in Wake Forest, you're looking at an 11-minute delay coming in on US 1. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Right now, crews are working to restore power to hundreds of people in Durham. It's out after a crash took down a utility pole. Ali Kadlabar is on North Roxborough Street in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. Ali, police searching for the drivers who abandoned the cars after that crash.
Michelle, and we're hearing from police radio traffic that those cars were possibly stolen. But within the past minute, we have seen progress to this utility work happening. They just lifted up that utility pole, and looks like they're working to attach some of those utility lines on to that pole. We've seen this for the past 6 hours, crews working to repair the utility pole that was snapped after a car crashed into it. This is video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. You can see that car crashed into the utility pole. There was another car involved in this crash. It also had damage to the front part of the car. Now, we know from police, they tell me that when they got to the scene, the drivers of these cars were nowhere to be found. They abandoned the cars. And listen to this, police radio traffic indicating that these cars were possibly stolen.
The ignition steering column is stripped. So I'm pretty sure they stole the cars. Actually, both of them are stripped. Yeah, I mean, there's nobody walking on foot, so they're hiding somewhere.
And we're working to confirm that with police. Right now, we are seeing the businesses along this stretch of North Roxborough Street. They are closed. That expected restoration time is between 10:30 or 10:45 and 11:30. So we are staying on top of this. We're going to keep you updated. Reporting live in Durham, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
Well, this morning, the Jamaican government expected to give an update on the recovery efforts after Hurricane Helene. You see the devastation right there. That storm was the strongest on record to hit that island nation. Melissa, demolished homes, knocked down swaths of trees, and has washed out roads. This morning's news conference is set for 11 o'clock our time.
Schools across North Carolina are looking to limit student cell phone use. Today, Durham Public Schools will be the latest to talk about changing their rules. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live in Durham for us this morning. And Kelsey, today's meeting comes just days after Wake County worked on its own plan.
Yes, Michelle, it does. Parents, your middle or high schooler may be required to turn off their cell phones and not just silence them while they're in class. Today, Durham school leaders will talk about making this change to their cell phone policy. It comes after a new state law passed that requires all districts to have one. Smart glasses are also a part of this proposed change. Schools would either ban them altogether or only allow them as prescription glasses with the tech turned off. Wake County school leaders discussed similar policy changes on Tuesday. Right now, their students are required to keep their phones on silent. Durham school leaders will meet this morning at 11 o'clock, so we'll be sure to keep you updated on how they move forward. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Durham.
Now to the government shutdown nearing the 1 month mark with no end in sight. We're going to give you a live look now at the Capitol there in the nation's capital, where lawmakers on both sides of the aisle continue to point fingers at each other for the lack of progress. Over the weekend, SNAP program funding runs out. Millions of Americans will lose access to food assistance. Also Saturday, open enrollment starts for the Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare. Subsidies that have helped keep premium costs low are set to expire in December. That means some Americans could see the premiums double or even triple for next year. And an estimated 1.4 million federal workers are now missing paychecks.
Wake County launched a new resource to help people who can't access the suspended SNAP benefits. A new website shows food pantries and other free meal locations in Wake County. The county reports more than 80,000 people rely on SNAP benefits. North Carolina Attorney General Jeff Jackson sued the USDA on Tuesday. He says it has emergency funding available to keep SNAP running, but is choosing not to make it available. And this morning, we will learn more about food assistance plans in western North Carolina. Buncombe County and food bank leaders will meet in Asheville today. After Helene, disaster SNAP food assistance was essential in western North Carolina. Nearly 30,000 people in Buncombe County rely on SNAP for food. Today's news conference gets started at 10 a.m.
New this morning, President Trump is on his way home from Asia after meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping in South Korea. Trump says he and Xi agreed on almost everything at that meeting. The presidents talked about tariffs, fentanyl, and access to rare earth minerals. After the meeting, President Trump agreed to lower fentanyl tariffs from 20% to 10%. Trump also says China will resume purchasing U.S. soybeans after their months-long boycott, which is really good news for North Carolina farmers, by the way. He added there will be no roadblocks at all on rare earth minerals.
We're getting a new perspective on 911 calls after a Johnston County man reported he killed his 4 children. Wellington Dickens appeared in court yesterday. Dr. Kamala Uzel is a psychotherapist. She listened to the call to analyze it. She says it sounds like Dickens was suffering from extreme psychosis.
Okay, sir, what's going on?
I killed my children. It's a lot to explain, but in a nutshell, it's all my fault. I'm not even gone. It's my fault.
So it doesn't seem that the crisis is going on at that moment, but it definitely seems like the crisis has occurred recently.
Dr. Uzel says that trauma can lead to psychosis. Family says Dickens was an Iraq War veteran. He also had recent deaths in his family, including his wife. Dr. Uzel says this case is a reminder to pay attention to mental health warning signs.
A Wilson school held a vigil for Brigitte Bradston, a former teacher and former Shaw University track star, killed in a car crash on I-40. Colleagues, students, and their families paid tribute to Bradston at Sally B. Howard School last night. She and her sister pulled over on the highway and stepped out the vehicle to switch seats when she was hit by a car. Co-workers say Bradston's family in the Caribbean wanted her to come home, but Bradston felt compelled to teach students in her community. Co-workers tell WRAL although the recent graduate only worked at the school for a few weeks, her loss has hit the community very hard.
It's okay to cry. Cry if you want to. It's okay. I said, but we're going to remember her of the good memories, her beautiful smile, because she was a beautiful teacher.
Angelia Taylor was Bradston's co-teacher. She had to take a break. The news to the students on why Miss Bradston would not be returning to class. Bradston's sister, who was injured in the crash, is still recovering.
Your time is 8:10 here on the WRAL Live Center. I saw this alert from the Craven County Schools regarding an emergency situation, which is why 3 different schools are going to be closed today. It didn't mention what the emergency was, but I called to verify this is in fact related to the manhunt underway for a man right now in Craven County. This is a person who is accused of killing his grandmother, setting her house on fire, even stabbing a deputy in the foot when they tried to apprehend him. We're trying to get more specifics in this story as the manhunt continues, but you can count on WRAL News to stay with the story to bring you more information.
All right, thank you, Chris. Today, NC State will officially install Kevin Howell as the university's 15th chancellor. A ceremony will be held at 11 a.m. in Reynolds Coliseum. Howell will speak and talk about his vision for the school's future. He was named chancellor on March 19th and began work on May 5th. Howell previously served as chief of external affairs for UNC Health and UNC School of Medicine.
Time now 8:11. Obesity rates down. Obesity is declining in the U.S. The effect of weight loss drugs and that improving statistic.
Plus, band director remembrance. A Durham high school lost their band teacher. Why this loss touched Durham's Mayor Williams.
And we have some dramatic cameras out there right now as our rain is moving out and the sun's beginning to break out. Look at this view over downtown Raleigh. We'll talk about when you can start to see some sunshine if you're not already. Coming up. 8:14, another really cool camera to show you. Here's Durham. The left half of the screen here is cloudy, and of course the right half has a good bit of blue sky showing there. And we'll continue to see that. The farther west you go, the more sunshine you're seeing. The farther east you are, still dealing with a few showers, especially around Edgecombe County, Halifax, Northampton County. And that is all moving eastward, and we'll see some gradual clearing. Rain is pretty much over besides what's happening there east of I-95, and more sunshine is on the way. Temperatures have been mild so far today in the upper 50s to right around 60 degrees. We'll make it into the mid 60s with some sunshine. It will be breezy this afternoon. We'll see some gusts up to 25 miles per hour and some colder air coming. I'll show you who could see some frost. Ken?
Elizabeth, major congestion on I-885 and those southbound lanes there in Durham as a result of this crash right near the TW Alexander exit there in the Durham area, because right now you're looking at a 39-minute delay. So I would recommend using Highway 55 or Highway 70 South Miami Boulevard as alternate routes depending on where you are and where you're headed. Also, we're seeing some heavy congestion on the Beltline this morning. I'll let you know what kind of delays you'll be running into.
All right, thank you, Ken. A fired Raleigh police officer is facing new charges. Tremail Cogdell is accused of accepting a sexual favor to look past a DWI investigation. Cogdell now faces 5 new counts of soliciting prostitution. The indictment says he solicited 5 different people between August 1st and September 15th while he was employed with Raleigh police. Raleigh police first learned about an SBI investigation into Cogdell on September 26th and fired him when charges were filed. A Wilson County mother is accused of assaulting an assistant principal. According to court documents, 27-year-old Kelly Hare was arrested at Lokema Elementary School on Monday. Deputies say that she pushed and grabbed the assistant principal. She's also accused of threatening to hurt another school employee. Hare is facing a disorderly conduct at a school charge, among others. Her next court date is in December. A man is dead after being hit on his motorcycle in Fayetteville. It happened just before 6 yesterday evening at the intersection of Gillespie Street and Southern Avenue. 43-year-old Hector Elias Burgos was driving an SUV and made a left turn into the motorcycle. 22-year-old Trenton Thompson was on that motorcycle and died in the crash. The impact made the SUV spin into another car, but that driver was okay. Elias Burgos and his passenger have minor injuries. There's no word on any possible charges.
The president and CEO of UNC Health is stepping down. Janet Hayter started at UNC Hospitals as a nursing manager. She worked her way up to become CEO over a 24-year career. She's served as president and CEO since 2019. Now, WRAL has learned Hayter accepted a new position as chief operating officer of UAB Health System in Alabama. Her last day on the job there at UNC is December 1st.
Obesity rates are declining in the U.S. A new Gallup poll shows obesity rates among U.S. adults dropped to 37% this year. That's down from 39.5% 3 years ago. The survey also found that the number of Americans taking weight loss drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy has more than doubled over the past year and a half.
A UNC researcher is connecting communities to life-saving medication. Delisha Carpenter is with the UNC Elshaman School of Pharmacy. She's helping people find naloxone in the event of an overdose. Carpenter recently helped launch naloxonenearme.org. The website ranks all 100 counties statewide based on how many naloxone distribution resources they have. This includes pharmacies selling naloxone and organizations providing free doses.
One thing is everybody's life is worth saving. And so it's important to carry naloxone, especially if you're going to be in situations where people are using drugs. You never know what is in the drugs that you're using.
Carpenter says the goal is to help people find the medication faster. The website is also meant to encourage local governments to recognize the need for more resources.
The Durham community is remembering a beloved high school band director. Southern High School's Harry Stokes died over the weekend. Durham Mayor Leo Williams shared a post about this on Facebook. Mayor Williams said the two were close. Williams picked him to take over the program when he stepped down from being the school's former band director. Southern is offering counseling for students and staff this week. The cause of death has not been released. Well, new drone video shows the extent of Hurricane Melissa's damage in Jamaica. Take a look at this. Just, Elizabeth, so incredibly devastating there. A number of fatalities as well. It really did a number on Jamaica.
Yeah, we're just starting to get some new video in, too, and you can see roofs ripped off. And, of course, these homes are designed to withstand 150-mile-per-hour winds for the most part. At least that's the code. And you can see just how many of them were just completely torn apart. You can see the trees shredded. Just a sad situation. And we continue to get new information in about what's been happening in Jamaica. Of course, Cuba also heavily damaged by Melissa. Let's take a look at where Melissa is right now. And it is moving away from the Bahamas. It is much weaker than it was when it made landfall there in Jamaica with 185-mile-per-hour winds. So it was just a monster storm. It's moving northeast at 21 miles per hour right now, almost 300 miles away from the central Bahamas. At least the center of circulation is. So it is no longer really having a big impact there. Winds at 105. So it remains Category 2. It will zip past Bermuda as a Category 2, and that means some impacts there too. They'll likely have some beach erosion. They'll have high rip current danger, high surf, most likely some flooding with this storm. It's moving fast, and so that's good news. It shouldn't be anything that is devastating there in Bermuda. We don't have a coastal low. Boy, we had a coastal low on Tuesday, and we had 5 more houses fall into the ocean there on Hatteras Island and Buxton. Our cold front is moving through with just that last bit of rain, and we're starting to see some clearing behind it. Still a little bit of rain in our northeastern counties, but yeah, it's moving out of here pretty quickly, and the cameras are looking great. Here's a look at Futurecast kicking things off right now, and we're seeing clearing through the afternoon. We did get a good soaking rain out of this, officially around 2 inches in the Triangle, less than that in Clinton at about 1.25 inches, and then the heaviest rain, at least on this map, 2.5 inches up there in Roxborough. So we definitely need it. Beneficial rain. We're still 1 inch behind for the month in October. We've only seen 2 2 inches, but a bit more in Fayetteville at about 2 1/4, so a little over a 1/4 of an inch behind. We're looking pretty good, great down in our southern counties, Fayetteville and Southern Pines, almost 100% of the rainfall. That's normal, but anywhere from about 65 to 80% for the rest of the viewing area. Still much better than it was before we had this rain come through. Speaking of better, boys, both tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday look great. We're going to talk about some chilly mornings and the trick-or-treat temperatures. Ken?
Elizabeth, we're staying on top of a situation we've been following now for the last hour or so in Durham on I-885 in the southbound lane because of this crash near the TW Alexander Drive exit. It's a situation where you're looking at a 20-minute delay. It's actually getting better, but you might want to use Highway 55 or Highway 70, South Miami Boulevard as alternate routes just to get around what's happening there on I-885. We're seeing the usual congestion this time of the morning on that southern loop of the Beltline, I-40 Lake Wheeler Road, courtesy of our live cam network. You're looking at an 8-minute delay this morning on that southern loop. All other routes connected to I-40 delay free, as you can see, especially if you're coming in from Garner, Johnston County. No delays between Highway 36 and the Beltline this morning. That northern loop of the Beltline, boy, that's becoming a real issue this morning. It was a situation where it was up to like 43 minutes. Right now it's
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio in Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Happy Thursday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. A little warmer this morning than yesterday. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking a lot of cloud cover, but it's going to be a nice day, Elizabeth.
It is. We started off with some drizzle this morning and gray conditions. Starting to see the clouds thin out a little bit, especially right here in North Hills. Really from the Triangle area westward, the clouds are breaking up, but it's going to take a little bit longer in our eastern counties where we just had a few showers roll through, but that's going to be the end of the rain. And as the day wears on, we'll see more and more sunshine. So it is going to be okay to get outside this afternoon. If you're going to be walking the dog this evening, temperatures will drop down to around 60 by about 6 p.m. It's going to be a breezy afternoon with winds out of the southwest gusting about 25 miles per hour. Ken?
Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We're staying on top of that situation that we've been following all morning long here in Durham. You can see the huge backups causing as a result of the crash on 885 South near TW Alexander Drive. Things are definitely getting better. It's a situation now you're looking at a 19-minute delay, but if you're in a rush, you might want to take Highway 55 or Highway 70, South Miami Boulevard as alternate routes. Also, first responders are working a crash on I-40 eastbound around Highway 55. I'll let you know how much of a delay that could affect your morning commute.
All right, thank you, Ken. Right now, hundreds of people are without power after a crash broke a power pole in Durham. This happened on North Roxborough Street near Monk Street about 1:30 this morning. Police say the people who crashed abandoned their cars. We are working to find the drivers. They are working to find the drivers. And today, NC State will officially install Kevin Howell as the university's 15th chancellor. A ceremony will be held starting at 11 at Reynolds Coliseum. Howell will speak about his vision for the school's future. He was named chancellor on March 19th and began work on May 5th. Next on Fox 50, the manhunt on the coast for a murderer, a suspect accused of stabbing a deputy.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Right now at 8:30, crash and run. Hundreds are without power in Durham after a crash snapped a utility pole. The search is on for the missing drivers.
Also, another crash on I-885 in the southbound lane there in Durham. It's a situation that's causing huge backups in double digits. We'll show you the best ways to get around that mess.
And it's changing fast out there. Look at how much blue sky we can see over the airport right now. If you're not seeing it yet, I'll show you when you'll see some sunshine.
And silencing cell phones. Durham schools crack down as part of a statewide change, and every school district has to follow it. What it means for students and why the change is happening now. Welcome in on your Thursday morning. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
And I'm Ken Smith. We're seeing a little peek of
right
between
the summer's trying.
Yes, I know it. Let's go ahead and get right over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Weather Center to let us know just when we might be able to see that sunshine.
So we have a cold front swinging through, and it is pushing that rain closer and closer to the coast, and that's allowing some of our western counties to go ahead and start clearing. We're pretty much done with the rain. You can see 0% chance as we get through the rest of the afternoon. We have some really dramatic cameras right now. They look great. This, of course, is a look at our Garner camera. Lots of blue sky up above. We have some cloud cover here, so we're clearing very quickly. 58 is our temperature. As we clear, the winds are going to start to pick up. We have a southwest wind at 11 miles per hour right now. We'll likely be gusting up to around 25 this afternoon. We're going to hold it mostly steady. We do climb into the mid-60s for later on this afternoon. It'll be breezy. The next real big thing you'll notice in weather is some chilly temperatures in the morning. So we'll check that out coming up. We are tracking Melissa that is pulling away from the Bahamas right now, moving northeast at 21 with 105 mile per hour winds, almost 300 miles from the Bahamas. At this point, it will brush by Bermuda, which is right about there, and it will have at least some impacts there. We'll talk about what they could see coming up. Ken?
All right, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We're staying on top of that situation on I-885 in the southbound lanes as a result of this crash right near the TW Alexander exit this morning. It's a situation you're looking at a 14-minute delay. Boy, it's getting a lot better. If you're in a rush this morning, you might want to take Highway 55 or even Highway 70, Austin Avenue as an South Miami Boulevard as an alternate route. We also have a situation on I-40 eastbound near Highway 55. These are the eastbound lanes coming toward us this morning. Coming toward us this morning, you can see the crash shutting down a couple of lanes there around the Highway 55 area. So in terms of coming into Durham this morning, here's what we're looking at. You're looking at a 27-minute delay if you're coming in on eastbound from Chapel Hill. Just an 11-minute delay if you're coming into Durham from Wake Forest this morning on Highway 98. As far as the routes coming into Raleigh, you see the belt line. You see the red and the greens there on the belt line. So the usual morning congestion we're seeing there. But for major routes, a troubled spot is really US 1 coming in from Wake Forest. You're looking at a 6-minute delay. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Thanks, Ken. Right now, crews are working to restore power to hundreds of people in Durham. It's out after a crash took down a utility pole. Ali Calabar is on North Roxborough Street in the WRAL breaking news tracker. And Ali, police still looking for those drivers who abandoned their cars after the crash.
And Michelle, we've heard from police broadcastify radio traffic that those drivers in those cars involved in that crash were possibly stolen. It's left quite a disruption here on North Roxborough Street, including shutting down power to more than 1,000 Duke Energy customers, including this Bojangles here. We've seen multiple people try to drive through that drive-through, and they are getting turned away because all of these businesses here are without power, and it's because they're working to repair this utility pole. Looks like they're making progress here, but this is why. This is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker. You can see that car crashed into the utility pole, snapped it. There was another car involved with significant damage. Now, police tell me that when officers got to the scene, that the drivers were not there. Listen to this. Police radio traffic indicating that these cars were stolen.
The ignition steering column is stripped. So I'm pretty sure they stole the cars. Actually, both of them are stripped. Yeah, I mean, there's nobody walking on foot, so they're hiding somewhere.
We have reached out to Durham Police to get confirmation on this, but as of right now, power is set to be restored between 10:45 and 11:30 for those about 1,000 customers without power, and so we are keeping you updated on WRAL this morning. Reporting live in Durham, Ali Calabar, WRAL News.
Well, we're following some breaking news right now. It's a situation that we're following in Craven County. Says Connolly stabbed a deputy in the foot last night in Vansboro. The altercation happened as deputies responded to a Bojangles for a reporting sighting of Connolly. He's been on the run since his grandmother was found dead inside her home over the weekend. The sheriff says he is confident Connolly will be brought to justice. This is coming from the Outer Banks, by the way.
We're going to get him. I'm not concerned about that at all. However, I want people in this area to be extremely careful. And if they see something suspicious, a suspicious individual, I want them to dial 911 immediately so we can respond.
Authorities say Dominic Connolly also set his grandmother's home on fire. He's now facing additional warrants related to that stabbing of the deputy. Deputies warn anyone who helps him escape will also face charges.
Hurricane Melissa tore through Jamaica as the strongest storm to ever hit the Caribbean island. It later slammed into eastern Cuba. Rural areas were flooded and the city of Santiago was damaged as well. The storm destroyed homes, uprooted trees, and washed out roads across western Jamaica. The Dominican Republic and Haiti also felt the impacts of Melissa. At least 30 people were killed. Tens of thousands of tourists are unable to get home. Authorities have not released the total number of people killed yet. Well, back here at home, schools across North Carolina are looking to limit students' cell phone use. Today, Durham Public Schools will be the latest to talk about changing their rules. This after a new state law passed that requires all school districts to have one. Smart glasses are also part of this proposed change. Schools would either ban them altogether or only allow them to be used as prescription glasses with the tech turned off. Wake County discussed similar changes on Tuesday. WRAL Education Insider Emily Walkenhorst says most school districts already have cell phone policies. They just may not have a universal way of enforcing them.
When things are not enforced uniformly across a school, it can be confusing for students, or students can, be maybe even resentful of teachers having different rules and just kind of having trouble following them.
Durham school leaders will meet this morning at 11.
We have new perspective on the 911 call of a man who confessed to murdering his 4 children. Dr. Kamala Uzel is a psychotherapist. She listened to the call and analyzed it. She says it sounds like Wellington Dickens was suffering from extreme psychosis.
Okay, how did you do it?
I beat on them sometimes. They didn't want to eat. I didn't force them to eat. I told them that it was a punishment not to eat. I did a bunch of different little things.
So it doesn't seem that the crisis is going on at that moment, but it definitely seems like the crisis has occurred recently.
Dr. Uzel says that trauma can lead to psychosis. Family says Dickens was an Iraq War veteran. He also recently had deaths in his family, including his wife. Dr. Uzel says this case is a reminder to pay close attention to mental health warnings. A candlelight vigil will be held tomorrow for a couple deputies say was killed by their 17-year-old foster child. Ted and Joanne Chambers were murdered at a home on Cope Road. Friends and family will gather tomorrow in Red Springs for a candlelight vigil in their honor. Guests are asked to wear red for Ted and purple for Joanne. Law enforcement found the 17-year-old suspect more than 60 miles away at the Boys and Girls Home at North Carolina in Columbus County. Investigators say he took his own life when they approached.
New this morning, President Trump is on his way home from Asia after meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping in South Korea. Trump says the two leaders agreed on almost everything at the meeting. The presidents talked about tariffs, fentanyl, and access to rare earth minerals. After the meeting, President Trump agreed to lower tariffs on some Chinese imports from 20% to 10%. Trump also said that China will resume purchasing U.S. soybeans after their months-long boycott. He added there would be no roadblocks at all on rare earth minerals.
Well, the government shutdown is nearing the 1-month mark. GOP and Democratic lawmakers keep on pointing at each other as the lack of progress. On Saturday, SNAP funding programs runs out. Millions of Americans will lose access to food assistance. That same day, open enrollment starts for the Affordable Care Act, more commonly known as Obamacare. Subsidies keeping premium costs low are set to expire in December. That means some Americans could see their premiums double or even triple for the next year. Nearly 1.5 million federal workers are now missing paychecks.
Today, Senate Democrats are pushing one more trade vote to repeal global tariffs and restore Congress's power over trade. Lawmakers passed a bipartisan resolution yesterday to block President Trump's tariffs on Canada. The resolution passed by a vote of 50 to 46 after Democrats forced the vote without GOP consent. 4 Republicans crossed party lines. The measure likely will not advance in the House this year. Earlier this week, the Senate passed a similar resolution on Trump's Brazil tariffs. A group of business leaders hopes to continue rebuilding Western North Carolina's economy after Helene. The state sustained more than $60 billion in damage last year. About 2,000 businesses have received $55 million in business grants. And now a state committee is focusing on the area's long-term economic growth. Committee members say they're looking for ideas to meet the area's needs for education, housing, healthcare, and small business development over the next 10 years. The group will relay its ideas to Governor Stein at a later date. 8:41 is your time. Major military move. President Trump gives South Korea permission to build a nuclear submarine in the U.S. What's behind the deal?
Also, military documents. The government shutdown sparking money worries for federal employees, including service members. Ahead, 5 on your side will share companies that offer special discounts for military members, veterans, and first responders.
Take you live out to Durham as we head to break. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tells us about breezy conditions coming our way this afternoon as you look over a very cloudy Durham this morning.
.45 is really getting pretty across the area right now. I love these clouds just kind of zipping by over RDU, and you can see the blue sky and just some of these really pretty clouds. And we're seeing that especially from the Triangle area westward, still dealing with more cloud cover along and east of I-95, but that will clear as well as we get through the next couple of hours. The rain is pretty much over at this point, and we'll see more and more clearing. So fine to get outside. As a matter of fact, this afternoon, it should be really nice out. Temperatures will be in the mid-60s. It is going to be a blustery afternoon, but we'll see plenty of sunshine for getting out and enjoying the afternoon. The next thing we see with temperatures is some really chilly mornings. I'll show you when you could see some patchy frost, Ken.
Hi, Elizabeth. Happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We got a couple of troubled spots, mainly in Durham. I-40 eastbound. You see the crash off to the shoulder of the road, but we're seeing congestion in both directions there on I-40 around Highway 55, the Durham Orange County line in that particular area. Here's what it looks like, courtesy of a live map this morning. You can see the huge delays it's causing there in both directions on I-40. We're also monitoring this situation on I-885 in the southbound lanes. It's a situation where right now you're looking at a 14-minute delay. So if you're in a rush this morning, you might want to use Highway 55 or even Highway 70, South Miami Boulevard as alternate routes.
Your time is 8:46 here in the WRAL Life Center. We have some brand new images into our newsroom regarding that overturned tractor trailer that happened last night and kind of carry into this morning. Let me go ahead and press play here on this slideshow so you can see some of these images here. You'll see that tractor trailer on its side, and where this specifically is on US 421 near the Cumnock Road exit. Investigators say the tractor trailer was driving around then, lost control, overcorrected, and then overturned. The driver was taken to the hospital. They had minor injuries and has since been discharged from there. We know the truck had managed to spill this large load of sheet metal there, and they do believe that weather is a factor. This is why we let people know about the roads in those conditions, right? Detours have been in place there, and right now teams are in the process of clearing all of this up right now. But this is the aftermath they have had to deal with regarding that overturned tractor trailer near Sanford.
Thanks, Chris. A former Illinois sheriff's deputy was found guilty of murdering a black woman in her home after she called 911. Sean Grayson, who was white, was on trial in the death of Sonia Massey. Massey's death renewed criticism of law enforcement killing black people in their homes. The mother of two called 911 last year because of a possible intruder. Grayson responded to the call and shot Massey in her kitchen. A jury found him guilty of second-degree murder. Grayson faces 4 to 20 years in prison. His sentencing is scheduled for January.
President Trump announced a remarkable military deal with South Korea. In a social media post, Trump said he has given South Korea permission to build a nuclear submarine in the U.S. It will be built in Philadelphia. Right now, South Korea only has diesel-powered subs. The country wants nuclear-powered ships to keep up with China and North Korea.
The government shutdown has many military and federal workers uncertain about their paychecks. This is making money a bit tight for family budgets. Now, keep in mind, many companies offer discounts for military members, veterans, and first responders. 5 on your side's Ashley Rowe explains how to find them and what you'll need to qualify.
An uncertain cash flow is the reality millions of Americans are feeling right now. But there is some relief. Many businesses are offering discounts to help stretch every dollar.
Many retailers, big and small, and even some restaurants offer discounts for all kinds of positions. And that includes first responders, teachers, nurses, active military, and even veterans. And they may not advertise these discounts very well, so it always pays to ask.
Home improvement stores like the Home Depot and Lowe's offer 10% off many purchases. Clothing brands such as Under Armour, LL Bean, and Columbia give military and first responders similar breaks. Cell phone carriers, including Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile, offer monthly plan discounts. And you may find savings at restaurants, too. Chains like Applebee's and Chili's offer free meals on Veterans Day. And some, like Outback Steakhouse, have discounts year-round for those who serve, from military members to medical staff. To prove your status, you'll usually need a military ID or a government-issued ID for first responders. And an important reminder, if you're active duty and at risk of default on your loans, the Service Members Civil Relief Act might help ease some of your financial burdens. It puts some protections in place that make it difficult for things like foreclosure, eviction, or car repossession to happen during this time. In some cases, you may also be able to end a home or car lease, depending on your situation. Ashley Rowe, 5 on your side.
Time for a look at what's trending this morning. Ken, A$AP Rocky got down on one knee, but it wasn't for Rihanna.
Oh my gosh, what a scandal. Rapper A$AP Rocky caught on camera in New York City proposing to actress Margaret Qualley. The moment was actually part of a Chanel commercial. Rocky's suit tears away before Qualley sees the proposal and dances for joy, Michelle.
Yeah, she's a good actress, and she really played the part here. Of course, Rocky shares 3 children with Rihanna. This wasn't real, like Ken said, it was for a commercial, but that's cute.
And she's married as well.
She's married as well, yes. Yes. All right, well, the Toronto Blue Jays are 1 win away from becoming World Series champions. The Jays took down the LA Dodgers 6-1 last night in LA in Game 5. They now have a 3-2 lead in the best-of-7 series. Toronto looking for its first World Series championship since 1993. They have a chance to do it in front of their fans at home. Toronto hosts LA in Game 6 tomorrow night. First pitch is at 8 p.m. and you can watch that right here on Fox 50. I want a Game 7, Ken.
You and me both.
Yeah.
Because it's been a really terrific series so far. Well, the North Carolina ferry system is bringing in heavy-duty equipment to help clear Highway 12. You see it right here. Parts of the highway are back open. However, Highway 12 on north end of Ocracoke will remain closed.
And you can see some of the big problems that we saw this week. In some places, the ocean was so powerful that it came just right over the sand dunes that try to protect that portion of the beach. You can see that breach in the sand dune right there where the water washed over it. This is something that we've seen over and over this fall. We get a low-pressure system that moves up the coast, and it just destroys parts of Highway 12, and it's hard to keep that going. I mean, it's a really, really narrow part of the island there, so it's still closed in some places, especially near Ocracoke. Let's jump on out and take a look at what's happening right now. Earlier in the week, we had a low that moved right up the coast, so it was a coastal low. There were flood advisories, high surf warnings, all of that, but that low has moved away, and this is our second low of the week, and it's moving up the spine of the mountains, and so it's not going to have the same impact there along the Outer Banks. I think Tuesday they had 5 more homes fall in around Buxton. What we're seeing is our cold front sliding on by, and behind it, nice dry air, some sunshine beginning to filter in across the area. Still some showers down closer to the coast, but the rain is pretty much over for us. We take a look at Futurecast, roll it on through from around 9 o'clock through lunchtime, and we'll continue to see the clouds breaking up, nice clearing. We're going to see sunshine this afternoon, and then for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're dry until Sunday night, early Monday. There could be an isolated shower. Look how pretty this is. This is a live look at our Garner camera, and you can see just a few clouds there, blue sky, and a lot of sunshine. 56 is our temperature, but our winds are starting to pick up. We have a southwest wind at 15 miles per hour. Our gusts will be up to 20, 25 this afternoon, so we've had a fairly blustery week, and that will continue. Our clouds will continue to break up in our eastern counties over the next several hours. Temperatures will land in the mid-60s for highs, and then take a big dive. 39 Saturday morning, 40 on Sunday morning, so we're definitely looking at some chilly temperatures, but beautiful for the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Trick-or-treating time temperatures will be in the mid-50s, so looking at fabulous conditions for Halloween. That should make the trick-or-treaters and the parents happy, Michelle.
A lot of people happy about that forecast. Thanks, Elizabeth. Before we go to break, here are your winning lottery numbers. We'll get another check on weather and traffic next.